Why chosen ones are born into chaos, the purpose behind toxic families. Hear me now. To be a chosen one is to carry a divine mandate that sets you apart, often from the very beginning of your life. I am Most Reverend Benton, and today we are diving deep into one of the greatest mysteries of being chosen. Why does God place His most anointed children in the midst of chaos, in families that seem designed to break their spirits rather than nurture their growth? But first, some housekeeping. Kindly subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. Thank you. Now listen carefully. The chaos you were born into wasn't accidental. It wasn't some cosmic punishment or cruel twist of fate. No, my dear chosen one, it was precise. It was intentional. You were born into the fire because only the fire could forge you into the person your purpose demands you to be. The divine classroom of chaos. Your toxic family wasn't a curse, it was a classroom. It was the crucible in which your strength, discernment, and resilience were forged. Consider this. Would a warrior be trained in a place of comfort where there is no challenge, no battle to fight? Of course not. Warriors are trained in environments that test their limits, where they learn to stand firm even when the ground beneath them shakes. Your family was the training ground for your spiritual gifts. The rejection, betrayal, and dysfunction you experienced were not designed to destroy you, but to refine you. They taught you how to navigate conflict, how to protect your heart while still showing love, and how to rely on God when all else fails. Hear me now. Fragility cannot carry a divine mantle, and so God allowed you to experience the very things that would make you unshakable. The role of chaos in awakening. Let me speak to your spirit. Chaos awakens the soul. It forces you to see beyond the surface, to question what others accept, and to seek deeper truths. In a toxic family, you quickly learn that not everything is as it seems. You develop discernment because you must navigate deception. You cultivate strength because weakness is not an option. Think about it. If everything had been easy, would you have sought God as fervently as you did? Would you have developed the empathy and understanding that make you a healer today? The answer is no. Chaos was your teacher, and it awakened you to your divine calling. Generational cycles and the role of the chosen one. Listen carefully. Toxic families are often trapped in cycles of pain, dysfunction, and unhealed wounds that span generations. These cycles persist because no one has been willing or able to confront them. But God saw the potential in you. He saw your strength, your resolve, and your capacity for transformation. And so He chose you to be the cycle breaker. Hear me now. Breaking generational cycles is not a task for the faint of heart. It requires confronting the very patterns that have shaped your family's identity. It means stepping into the fire, facing the darkness, and bringing light where there has only been shadow. When you were born, the enemy saw your potential and tried to snuff out your light early. The chaos, the rejection, the pain, they were all attempts to make you doubt yourself, to make you give up before you realized who you truly are. But you didn't give up. You endured. And now you stand on the brink of breaking chains that have bound your family for generations. The isolation of being chosen. Let me remind you, one of the hardest parts of being chosen is the isolation. Toxic families often ostracize the chosen one, labeling them as the problem, the outcast, or the black sheep. This isolation isn't rejection, it's preparation. God separates His chosen because their path requires focus, clarity, and alignment. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers. Was that rejection? No, it was redirection. God pulled him out of his family not to harm him, but to position him for elevation. The same is true for you. Hear me now. The isolation you felt wasn't to break you, it was to prepare you. You cannot heal what you are still entangled in. God needed to pull you out to set you apart so you could see the patterns clearly and confront them from a place of strength. healing your wounds and reclaiming your power. Listen to me. The wounds you carry from your toxic family are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your power. Healing those wounds is not just about finding peace. It's about reclaiming your divine authority. When you heal, you don't just heal yourself. You heal the generations that came before you and the ones that will follow. But hear me now, healing is not easy. It requires facing the pain you've avoided, forgiving those who hurt you, and choosing to rise above the patterns that tried to define you. Healing is an act of defiance against the darkness, a declaration that you will not be bound by the chains of the past. Practical insight. Begin your healing journey with these steps. Acknowledge the pain. Denial only keeps you trapped. Acknowledge what you've been through without judgment. Forgive without excusing. Forgiveness is not about condoning harm. It's about freeing yourself from its hold. Rewrite the narrative. You are not a victim. You are a victor. Start telling a new story about your life, one where you are the hero. The purpose of your trials. Let me speak to your spirit. Every trial you faced has been preparing you for this moment. The rejection, the betrayal, the isolation, they weren't random. They were precise. They were God's way of shaping you for the role only you can fulfill. Think about David. Before he was a king, he was a shepherd fighting lions and bears. Those battles prepared him for Goliath. Think about Esther. Before she saved her people, she was an orphan. That isolation prepared her for the palace. Your trials are doing the same for you. Hear me now, whatever you're facing today is not the end of your story. It's the setup for your elevation. Declare it now. This trial is temporary, but my victory is eternal. The ultimate truth about chaos. Listen carefully. Chaos is not your enemy. It's your catalyst. It's the force that pushes you out of complacency and into purpose. Your toxic family was not a punishment. It was an initiation. It was the furnace that burned away the false self, revealing the divine power within you. Practical insight. Reflect on the lessons your family taught you, not just the pain, but the strength, the resilience, and the wisdom. Use those lessons to guide you as you step into your calling. A final word. Hear me now. Your toxic family is not your identity. It was your initiation. You were born into chaos because chaos is where chosen ones are forged. Stand tall in your calling as a cycle breaker, a healer, and a light. Your pain has a purpose. Your trials have meaning, and your victory is assured. If this message has stirred something in your spirit, declare in the comments, "I am the cycle breaker." And click the link in the bio to join the Chosen One's Sanctuary, where we heal, grow, and walk boldly in our divine calling. Together we will break the chains of the past and build a legacy of light for the future. Your time is now. Amen.